Hey guys, it's Nick the Booksmith. Welcome back, welcome back. So this was a very inexpensive printed canvas that I got a billion years ago. It's been sitting in a closet for another billion years, and there's really no reason for that. So I'm going to use it today. It's, like I said, it's very inexpensive. I just need to remove it from the frame. So let's do that. All right, there we have it. Now this would make a great tote bag. I must admit, but that's not what I'm doing today. Today I'm going to use it to cover notebooks and that kind of thing. Since I'm not the tote smith, I am the booksmith. So let's do that instead. I have a stack of paper that used to go in a printer like a long time ago. And somebody gave me this stack of paper and I thought maybe it could be used for something. So after I have cut my paper down to size, I'm taking 15 sheets of this and breaking it up into 3 sets of 5. And I'm going to fold them in half. And now I have these 3 small signatures of paper. And I have some chipboard that is about 4 1/8 inches this way and 8 1/4 inches tall, and another little strip of chipboard, and this is 10 millimeters wide, and it's the same height as the boards. I'm going to take my beautiful canvas, cut it down a little bit. I don't need the whole thing. I'm going to see if I can try and center the city building in the middle of the spine as much as I can. I'm just mapping it out at the moment. I think I'm just going to leave about 1/2 inch around the edge. I'm going to leave 1/4 inch on either side of this little skinny spine piece. If I hold it up to the light, I can see where that tower is, just so I can know where that's going to be. And first of all, I shall put the spine part down. So I'm going to use the Fabra whatever. I'll hold that up so I can see if I can get it somewhat centered on there. That'll work. That'll do, pig. And then I'm going to go ahead and place the covers. And I have somewhere a little spacer, keep everything straight. I might use tape. You can see I didn't do real even, did I? Cattywampus. Okay, now we'll take some more double-sided tape. Trim the corners and leave a couple millimeters between the corner of the board and the edge of the fabric that gets cut here. ahead and turn this over. And then I'm going to, here, pinch these in a little bit. And then fold that up and over. And same thing over here. And over. I think I will snip a couple little spaces here. Get out a little bit of that extra bulk where the spine will bend on either side. Feel the edge of those book covers and run the bone folder in those gaps there on either side. Okay, so there is the little cover, and I kind of got that right in the middle. It's sort of centered. So I have some scrapbook paper, but it's not cardstock. It's thick for paper, but it's really thin for cardstock. The other thing that sold me was it's like a ledger. And do you see this stripe right here, these two stripes on either side? It's the exact width of my spine. So I'm a cheater. I'm going to take a piece of paper that's the same size, and I'm going to mark 4 places. So I come down a 1/2 inch and I mark a spot. I come up 1/2 inch and I mark a spot, and then it is 2 1/4 inches up, I mark one, and 2 1/4 inches down and I mark one. It just kind of evenly spaces those in between. I'm going to mark in the center of that space that's the same width of my spine. And here are the 4 holes, but I have 3 signatures. So I will make a dot on either side of those center holes, or dots, they're not holes yet. And you can see I tried to evenly space the dots in the middle of that. To poke a hole in the fold where I put those 4 marks, and that way I can put that inside of the signature and transfer that to the signature paper. And one more. I will take a needle and some heavy thread, run that through some beeswax. This center piece, once the papers are sewn to it, it will get attached inside of here on top of this spine. Of course, if you're just using a regular piece of paper or something else that's got a different pattern on it, all you have to do is take the measurement of your spine piece, this middle piece, and transfer it to the center of whatever paper you're using. The width of this paper doesn't matter a whole lot. I just wanted it at least 1 inch on either side wider than the spine. So I want it to overlap about 1 inch on either side. Because this is just paper, I'm going to put a little bit of reinforcement on the back. And Janet sent me this really pretty wide woven something or other. It's a scrap of something or other, but I thought it would be perfect just to cut a little scrap of this. And that should strengthen up this piece here in the middle so that when we sew the signatures to it, they won't rip through the paper. I'm going to start on the bottom left down here. And I'm going to leave a little tail. I'll grab the first signature and thread that needle through. Go out through the next one, up, and go through the next hole up on that first row. And then in the next hole up on the spine piece and through the signature. And then out through the top and through that top hole that we made. And here's that first signature sewn on. Now I'm going to go in the next hole over on the top in the next row, and it'll be up here in the middle one, the middle row, and grab the next signature and go in that top hole, out through the second one, and into that middle row, the hole that matches it, and then down to the next hole down in that middle row and in through the hole in the signature, and then out the bottom, and then through that bottom middle punched hole. Now, because this is just paper, I'm not going to be too rough with pulling the thread tight. I want them snug though. And I'm going to take those 2 tails because I didn't cut my thread long enough. I'm going to have to cut another one for that signature. I'm going to take these 2 tails and go ahead and tie them in a knot down here. And then that should snug those 2 signatures and get them all securely attached. A little bit more thread. And I will tie the end of this to one of these tails so that it's already secure at this end. And grab the last signature, going through the bottom. And go next hole up and through the hole in this spine paper, and then in through the next one up, and out the top. I'm going to run my thread needle through a couple of those threads that are glued down, and while I'm holding it tight, I will just pull a little slip knot through. And there is the 3 signatures attached to this middle paper, and this will get glued down to this middle. I think I'm going to try and use the Fabri-Tac. So the glue will come out one of these days. And we'll run that down the spine piece. Put some in the gaps here. Make sure that the paper and everything is glued down to that spine. If you have a bone folder, run it in that gap there. And now I can glue down these little side flap thingies. And now all I have to do is add side pieces over the top like that to make little end pages that will meet up with this piece that matches. I think I'm going to let this dry for a second before I open it up and put these in there. I can feel on the book cover, you can feel that it's different temperature because there's a little bit of wet glue underneath. I'm just going to let that sit for just a minute. And what I will do, I will choose a book plate for the front. I don't know, what do you guys think? This one is like a bronzy, has a little bit of red and a little tiny bit of red in it. And this one is just gold. And this one's more of a pewter. And then I do have like a black one as well. Oh, I think I'm digging this one. And then I can put a little label inside if I want to. I think I will do this and this. We'll put a little bit of glue on the back. And place that. And then this can either be glued to the front, or you could poke holes through the cover because you haven't put the inside yet, and you could run brads through there as well if you wanted. I'm just going to glue it down. There is our label on the front. That looks pretty nice. And now I feel like these are getting dry enough to where I can put some glue on these and stick them inside. And there we go. Cute, right? The canvas, I don't know what they print them with, some kind of industrial commercial ink and some kind of a sealer, but they are fairly sturdy. So I think you could probably make some little booklets and they would last a good while just because this canvas seems to be fairly sturdy. Yeah, so cute, right? Well, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Maybe you already know how to do something like this, or maybe you're just starting out and you learned something new. Either way, don't steal pictures off your grandma's wall. She won't appreciate that. But you could find these canvas pieces of artwork thrift stores sometimes really inexpensively. But there's enough in this canvas to probably make 4 books if I wanted to. I hope this gave you some ideas of maybe some upcycling you could do as well. If you have any questions, you can put them down in the comment section below the video. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you really soon in the next video. Bye guys!